warm welcome to Disky Talk with Liolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I've got a special guest.
Where's the horn? Where's the horn?
We don't have a horn. Bongani must work on it.
Okay.
Cool. Special guest who goes by the name of Dikgang Mabalane, also known as Terminator. My brother, how are you?
Founder. I'm good, bro.
How are you, man?
I'm super.
Great. Thank you for coming on, yo.
Yeah, I mean, hey, how could I resist the invitation? You know? So I thought, let me show up and let's have fun.
Yeah. The nickname Terminator, how did that come about?
It's not a football nickname.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people don't think it's a football name, but it's not actually a football name. I got the name we were just playing around, you know, one pal.
Yeah.
Kukasi, and this guy was just a movie fanatic. So it's like, no. So we're not wearing shirts, we're topless, playing around, and it's like, I want this boy. It reminds me of the Terminator. This is the Terminator. And it was during those days, really. Terminator, Predator, you know. And I guess whenever he saw me, he would always call me, hey, Terminator, Terminator. Hey. And then it happened that I started playing like organized football, you know, so that also fitted well with the football thing, and people still thought it's a football nickname, but it's actually just a guy who just like
that's
it. Because
I read
it's got nothing to do with anything.
Because I read somewhere that it's got to do with your penetrative pace. Like on this article, they wrote some long thing. I'm like, nah. I'm not asking.
I guess it
in a way it played out
goes,
like that.
You know, it came later. That came later. You know, and it's like, oh, it's fitting. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is.
It still goes.
Because the one thing that stands out about you, for me, I'll show you.
Oh, the point.
I'll show you. Nah? Left back, right wing. This is you. This is the reason why I consider you to be the best right winger in South African football that I've ever watched.
Thank you very much.
That I've ever watched. This is you. This is the left back.
Yeah.
Quality. Consistently.
Old school.
Consistent, like all the time, you know. And when you look at that and you look at the past and the present, you know, there's a lot of wingers in South African football that struggle with this. It's either they struggle to beat the man, or when they've beat the man, they can't whip in a quality ball. But you did that effortlessly consistently. So what was it then about your technical ability and your speed and game intelligence to be able to do this on a consistent basis, as opposed to the guys we see now who are struggling to do this on a consistent basis?
I like that question, because I also realized that we don't have that anymore. Yes, it's modern football, things change. Wingers are inverted now, you know. But it's coming back in a way, or some teams, I think, are going back to utilizing wingers like that. I mean, I'll give you an example. When he starts a move, or when, you know, initiating a move. On the line, for a reason. That's where he's deadly. You know what I mean? You're a different player.
Yeah.
It requires different specific players. You know? And ball players.
Yeah.
Also, you know, what you can do as a winger. So you must know your strength.
Yeah.
I knew mine. And in fact, a coach told me something. I was 27, late in my career. Termin. That's what he used to call it. Termin. if you drop sometimes, see how it goes. If you don't come, you're good.
Yeah.
You can take, you can see what goes on. If you close, speed, another weapon. So, which is something that I was good at. I was quick off the mark. I think for me, that's my strength. I knew I was quick off the mark, you know. But if I have difficult oppositions as well, I would consistently try and do this. This. See what you do.
Double movement.
Yeah, calm. You do calm. I keep you busy. I've got the energy. I'm fit.
Yeah.
I made sure that I'm fit. You have to be fit.
Yeah.
Because this all the time.
Yeah.
You remember, I was also doing.
Yeah.
But you know, it requires a lot of. It looks easy when you do it. It's difficult to take on player to a defender, especially lately now. You know, you mark the line, you play.
Yeah.
So you have to be clever.
No, that for me, no.
Yeah.
No, my hat off goes off to you. Like I must take my hat off. No, you're the best South African right winger I've seen. You know. But now let's take a trip down memory lane. As a young boy, growing up in Soweto, what was your first point of contact with football, and what made you realize that you could really do this and become a professional footballer?
Okay, actually. I remember, maybe let me give you a narrative, a story.
Yeah.
I remember when I realized that, okay, I think I'm good at this. It's when we, you know, those days study challenge and you know, we used to challenge each other. So not necessarily organized football, but so we would play against the guys from the other streets or neighborhood, whatever. But whenever we go and ask to play with them, you know, because we used to beat a lot of guys, so we used to go fetch them. That's how good we were. Anyway, so we would go there and and we get there and we're like, okay, guys, let's go play.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, no, why? We will play on condition that he doesn't play. He stays out.
Yeah.
Like how? Nah, like we're not doing like without shame.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you stay out, and then we will play you guys.
Yeah.
And that used to, like, I don't know, grind me, annoy me, because I wanna play.
Yeah.
You know, the passion is there. I enjoyed playing. But anyway, I think at that point when I realized that happens often, and now also the other guys from other, you know, sections, zones, whatever, neighborhoods would also know and talk about me, and they. You know, when people want to kick you all the time, they would always want. There's always someone assigned to you. They're always planning, you know, about you whenever you have to play against them. So all of that, I think it gives you an idea. It gives you a bit of. I mean, I'm sure you also realize that. No, I think I'm that good. You know. So I mean, I think that's the point I realized back then in DK. Probably 14, 13 years old, around that age.
Yeah. And your first team was Deep Blue Hellenic?
My first team was, Deep Blue Hellenic Gunners.
Yeah.
Some of the guys who play professionally.
Yeah.
You know, came from that club, so it produced a lot of professionals as well.
So then, how do you make the transition from that stage of your life to then going to Jomo Cosmos?
Jomo. Well, they saw me play at Deep Blue Hellenic, of course. We played against them, a friendly, whatever game against them. And I think it was two of us. So they picked two players from Gunners. It was Zo and I, Zo Villagas. But then, for some reason, we couldn't get, you know, to go there, and time went by, and then trials came. Now, trials.
Yeah.
So they held the trials the old Orlando Stadium. I wasn't supposed to be there, you know, via Saturday school. So back then, and I went to school on a Saturday. But something in me, you know, sometimes football, I think when it's your thing, it's a thing.
Yeah, when it's your thing, it's a thing.
So I wasn't supposed to be there. But anyway, I took a taxi back from school. Something said, go check out the guys, what's happening, you know? I love football anyway. I'm like, because my guys, a few of my friends went, you know, for trials and whatever to try out. So I got there, and I realized this thing is big. You know, trials, passes, not passes. And I'm like, ugh. And they're looking for like a few players for Cosmos, you know, just a few players. I'm like, yo, this is huge, Mos. But anyway, I got there, packed inside there, like sections there. They're busy selecting players. And I see a group of course, my friends there, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to just want to play.
Yeah.
You know, where there's football, where there's a ball, I want to play.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's me.
Yeah.
Not surprising. And I took the boots. I didn't even have shorts, and I went in. I'm telling you, like hardly 5 minutes, I don't know. I went in and it's like, oh, stop. Out. So I get confused. I'm like, what? And then they call me, you know, aside, and one of the coaches is like, man, where were you when? We've been looking for you, Mos. No, we'll see you on Monday. Come to training. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to play, you know?
Yeah, just
but I don't get that. Anyway, so I think that's when it started for me. There was, so I didn't even get to try for long, and that's how I got to Cosmos.
Yeah. And you then finally being able to impress the great Jomo Cosmos himself, and being able then to sign that professional contract. What was the emotion like? What was the feeling like?
It's strange because, you know, it wasn't, I guess I know it's cliche, but the love of football, the passion, you don't even realize that this is a craft and you're getting paid for it. You know what I mean? It's like a service, and then you get paid for it.
Yeah.
But you don't see it like that. So for me, it wasn't really a thing when I started. Yeah. Because I remember got paid like, I started getting paid in high school, you know, before matric, whatever, and $700. And for me, it was just like, I'm not paying, but since I'm getting paid for it, you know. Yeah. But it was nice to get money. Yeah. To get paid when you're in high school. Your peers, I mean, don't even know what a salary is. Don't even. Yeah. Shelter carry. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was good. I was like, no, okay, cool. I'm enjoying this. Yeah. But I think you only get to see the reality of it, or it strikes you when you get to like play games professionally. You know, the first team, and then now your salary goes up. But that's when you really get to see it. And I think then, I started realizing that, okay, now I'm in. Now I'm playing football. You know, when people in the street start recognizing me, like, Terminator, and you're like, okay, this is something. You know, I mean, okay. Yeah, but I was luckily, you know, I grew up in a good household where I was disciplined and taught how to respect whatever you do. So I was it didn't get to my head. Yeah. And off air you did mention Jomo doesn't use these he doesn't use these things. So what was it like then? That was supposed to be off air.
Yeah.
That is cool. He knows.
He does.
I mean,
but anyway,
he doesn't hide it. So.
Yeah. What was the experience like being coached by him and having him as a mentor then?
Like all the guys that play for Cosmos, no, Jay is like a father. You know, it's like a the guy you can relate to from where you're from. Most of us, you know, the townships. He's that approachable. So first he's that before a coach, and then on the field, yes, he's a motivator. He understands football. I mean, he lives football. He's passionate about football. So that also he translates that to the players. You know, he imparts a lot of it to the players as well. So I for me, it was easy to play at Cosmos. I'm still kokasi. You know what I mean? And I think that's when I enjoy my football. You know, when you feel like get team kokasi, and that's you happy playing for the team, for the club, and that's where I started. So it means a lot for me. So Jomo as well, as a coach. I mean, I like the fact that he would, with me, he understood me.
Yeah.
Understood what kind of player I am. So I knew exactly what was expected. He knew how to get the best out of me as well. So he would, first thing I also got to understand about him is that, he would say to me, "Tell me." He doesn't say too much. No, not too many instructions. "Tell me. What's it, man? Monkey. Dribble if you want to dribble." And for me, that means a lot. Yes, I understand. You need the coaching. But at that stage, I didn't mind. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the best way he could get the best out of me. Don't overdo it. Don't overload players. So you have to be careful. And I think Jomo understands that with the young players. And that's what I liked when I was there. He's that type of coach.
And I think another thing is like these players are different.
Exactly.
You can't treat each player the same. There's certain players who've got a great cognitive capacity to take on a lot of information. Then there's certain players where you give them one instruction, that's it. And they sort of are able to understand, So, but which are some of the players that stood out for you and that were part of your team at that time?
Cosmos.
Yeah.
I got the... Hey, they were, when you get and you starstruck, you get to a team and you get starstruck. Godfrey Sapulas, a few players then, most obviously have long retired. And Cosmos was full of intimidating players, strikers, and hard, robust kind of players. Yeah. So, well, Sipos Party. Mngwango back then, some of the guys you might not remember, but those are the players. Macbeth Sibaya was also there, Lucas Klomelang was, so those are the guys I got to play with back then. So man, a few more other players.
Yeah. So from Jomo Cosmos, you then go to Supersport United. How does that move come about?
That move. You know what? That's the thing. Every time I moved twice, by the way, from Cosmos, 2 stints.
Yeah.
So every time I move, we fight. So when I went to Supersport, he was saying, "No, it's not. It's too soon." But I didn't want to understand that. I was like, "No, I'm ready." And I thought I was ready then. I think I was ready then. So I went anyway. He was not happy with that. And I wasn't also, I didn't feel good about it because he's not happy, and I know our relationship, so it did affect me a bit, but I went anyway. I went to Supersport. It wasn't a good period for me. I didn't really enjoy my football there. I didn't, get what I wanted there. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was bitter about it for a while, but I'm not anymore. So I went there and man. So that's how I got there. Peter was still the coach there, so he wanted me there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he wants you, he'll do everything to get you.
Yeah.
And I remember he approached me and he said, "Hey, how much do they pay you there at the indoor game or Edenvale?" He says, "Tell me, how much do they pay you? Come to Supersport, man." And I'm like, speak to Prajay. He's like, "No. Okay, tell me then, how much do they pay? We'll give you." And I'm like, "Hey, no, I wanna. You don't want to reveal much. You're not sure what's happening."
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, just talk to him, And that was it. But that's how I got there, and he started pursuing me, and I went to Supersport, but unfortunately it wasn't the best of times.
So did those words then of Jomo start ringing in your head? Because when a parent tells you, "Hey, don't do this thing," you go, you do it, and when it's happening, you're thinking,
exactly, because it did happen. And I did think about it. I'm like, "Yo, wait, was he right?" And was he right about this? I started questioning myself, started doubting yourself, you started regretting a lot, and things in the newspapers, people are talking, and he's talking as well, he's saying things on the newspaper, and I was like hurt, but I kept quiet, because I respected him. I didn't want to respond to anything. So I kept quiet and I did my thing until I moved from Supersport. Yeah.
Yeah, and as much as
Actually, I went back to him.
as much as it wasn't a successful stint, but how was it like working then with Coach Pete Musman?
Oh yeah. Look, then it started off, of course, I'm expecting to play, he wants me there. So automatically
You think, yeah.
Segike, I'm done. Anyway, but it didn't work out because I think I in a way, I probably didn't do what he expected then, or for whatever reason, but there were other reasons, outside matters also, where I think he had an idea about me. That's what I think, But I didn't want to be boxed. I didn't want to be, you know what I mean? I was my own person. And so I resisted.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be what he thought I was. I was my own person and whatever. So we just didn't click on that level. I remember he used to say to me, "Hey, Plaza, when you start getting money, I changed from a Polo now to a BM. And now we're doing crosses at training." And then he starts saying like, "Tell me, you must park the car and come to training and do extra training and kick balls and do crosses, practice." And I got offended,
I understand,
by that.
yeah.
Like, what does now the car have to do with everything? And I think from then on things started going south. And yeah, man, that's how I ended up leaving Supersport on a loan, of course. That was also controversial and very,
yeah. So, but you brought up something which is very pertinent, and him mentioning the cars. What do you think it is about South African football? Because this is not the first story, nor the last, but there's always these things that have nothing to do with the game that coaches or part of management will say, no, you're this, that, and the third, and they sort of box you in this negative box because you're driving this or you're wearing this. What is that culture that we have in South Africa? Like, what do you make of that?
No, I like that you use the word culture. It is that.
Yeah.
It's the culture of being, I'll use the word humble, which is overrated sometimes, It's yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so I mean, it can be, I could say, misused. Why? Sometimes people, when they say humble, they mean be okay with ordinary, be okay with standard. Settle. You good. Don't be too big, because you'll be pompous. You'll get a big head. And that restricts us. It's like, it's an indoctrination. We're programmed now to think like that, small. I understand being, the culture of us Africans. Be respectful or grateful and yes, humble, you could use that, but it depends, in which how context? You use it, in which context. Sometimes you don't have to be humble. Sometimes you need to, push. You need to get out of that shell. You need a bit of arrogance here and there, So it depends. So I think, in football, not an exception as well there. They still operate that in that manner. And I also have a problem with that. There are certain things we must just get rid of or let go of and keep others. That's my belief. Not complete, don't lose everything, but other things we need to just let go of, change the mindset.
No, I definitely agree with you, because some people get crucified for wearing sunglasses. Now
you can't express yourself.
Now you can't wear sunglasses.
I don't understand. You can't. Yeah. That's a form of expression, an extension of me. As long as it doesn't affect my game, my performance, I think that's what matters. Yes, we need to be taught manners. We are taught manners in an African culture, but also we live in a different age, different world. things have changed. We can't resist the change. So certain things we need to let go. Certain things, you know, we need to adapt and learn.
So the prodigal son returns then. Hey, you then go back. So upon your return, how does that come about, and what's the first conversation then you have with Prache?
When I was going through my depression there, oh, you know, yeah, yeah. So I had to swallow my pride, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess we were meeting now and then, of course, when we play against Cosmos. Of course, I would make a point, you know, and make sure that I get chase on that day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we used to, things got a little bit better. We started speaking. So by the time I gave him a call, we were already speaking on speaking terms, and he'd be like, "No, this is your home," you know. And I was like, you know, thank God he's not, you know, holding any grudges.
Yeah.
But it's like, that felt good. And I was like, this is where I'm going to go back. But it wasn't that easy. I thought it was just going to be like, go to Supersport management and tell them, hey, I want to, you know, let me go. You're not using whatever. But it wasn't easy because I remember I called the guys there, the management, told them my story, you know, how I feel, if this would be a best for both parties. And they said, okay, we will loan you though. You know, you're not gonna go to Cosmos. But I'm like, why? He wants me, you know, he wants me back. And I had an agent then. Yeah, famous. Anyway, the agency, you probably know. I'm sure you know them. I'm not gonna mention names, but so they were speaking on my behalf, of course. And they told me, no, the agents told me, you should go to Maritzburg. You know, they just gotten promoted then. Go there. That's what the team says, you know, you'll play there. Cosmos is gonna be, I don't even know what the story was.
Yeah.
But I could tell that they don't want me to go there. And I didn't like that. But anyway, so I took some time, you know, to think about it. I wasn't okay with that. So, but I came to a point where I could see that nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna be frustrated. I had to do an introspection, think about it. And I made a decision that if I still want to play football, let me go and prove myself. Let me go get game time again, get my confidence, prove to myself and prove to those ones who think, you know, it's done. But to do that, I have to go play. I have to make a decision. And I think that's how the Maritzburg decision came. So I went to Maritzburg and I played there for like half a season. And then back to Cosmos. That's how I got to Cosmos. So it was via Maritzburg. Yeah. So football. Yeah.
It's like those flights. You go from here, you go to Europe, just to come back here to play. It's it's one of those.
I had to go through that, but I was just glad that I went to Cosmos. And when I went there, look, I think I was even a better player when I came back because now I'm matured. Now I'm hungry, you know, that made me strong. You know, like literally it changed me. I was a different person mentally. I was a different player as well. So I got to Cosmos hungry. And, you know, obviously that's how everything, you know, led on to me being wanted by Pirates and Sundowns. It was both teams, by the way. Anyway, I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself. But I went to Cosmos to go get game time, to go prove myself. Jomo gave me that, and I'll forever be grateful for that. So he gave me that opportunity, and I played there for like 2 years, 2 seasons. Well, the first season, Sundowns came and they told me, hey, Gordon was still the coach, Gordon Nixon. He's like, no, we want you. And I'm like, I think I was sure. I'm like, no, don't worry. Speak to Jomo, I'm okay. I didn't want to repeat the same mistake. And I felt the need to be loyal to him this time around, you know, give back to him. And I stayed. I decided to stay. So I didn't go the first season. And yeah, they came the second season. Of course.
So second season, when you got Orlando Pirates, you got Sundowns knocking. You mentioned earlier on that every time you leave Jomo Cosmos, it's always a fight. This round, what happens?
When I got to Pirates, I didn't get. I got there late in the season. They had started playing games already. That's how long it dragged. But eventually, I got, it got sorted. Don't ask me how, but it got sorted. And yeah, and I started playing football. That's all I wanted to do.
Don't ask me how.
Hey, there's a lot of in-betweens there.
Yeah, the story. Yeah.
That I wouldn't want to, talk much about.
Yeah, no, I understand. But now, prior to that move, so you've got Sundowns and you've got Orlando Pirates, and they're both vying for your signature. Are there any people speaking to you directly from both camps, and what is the conversation like from Sundowns and then from Pirates? What's the difference?
Well, when Sundowns came, obviously they told me that they want me and everything, and the Pirates one came later. Like it wasn't the first one. The first one was Sundowns. They approached me first, and I was like, oh, okay, excited that they came back again. And but then by the time I was supposed to make move to choose a team, whatever, I think that's when I'm saying I wasn't part of the deal to Sundowns. So I thought, okay, how did that happen? I felt undone, and maybe that's what also made me take a decision and choose what I want. That's when I chose Pirates, and I think that's where the problem started. But anyway, they were both obviously talking to me, and I ended up choosing Pirates. I went to negotiate with them, sit down. Initially, we didn't agree. I remember when the first time I went to the offices and I spoke to the Pirates management there, and we sat down. Football. We sit down and I'm like, okay, this is what I want. The agent obviously takes over, because also it's about can you get this? Can you cover this? Is this still okay? This is what I want. And then they came back and they're like, no, but it didn't work out well. So that didn't turn out well. We ended up not agreeing, and I drove. I was okay. I drove and like, oh, okay, budget, this, that, whatever. You know what the talks are. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I went, and I wasn't even moved. I was like, oh, okay, I understand. I went, drove out. 2 minutes, by the traffic lights, I get a call. It's the chairman. It's like, how? Tell me, Dikgang Mabalane. I don't know who's talking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, chairman, look, my heart started beating fast. I'm like, I didn't even know how to respond.
Yeah.
What went wrong now? What's wrong? And I'm like, hey, unfortunately, we didn't agree, It's like, man, come back, we will talk. Okay, come see me tomorrow. And I went to see him, but not at the offices, at his house in DK. Because I lived in DK as well, so it's almost the same neighborhood. So I knew exactly what he was talking. Like, a guy. Like, yes, I do. Come see me tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, okay, I'll be there. I had to drive. From, because yes, it was my mom's house, but I lived in the West End, so I had to drive there, get to his house, and I get there, sit, wait, of course, and wait, and eventually, finally, he comes through and is like walking there. I'm like, hey, now what are we gonna talk about? What is he gonna say? You ask yourself so many questions. Look, he is intimidating. But we sat down And it's like, yeah, so what's wrong? What do you want? But we negotiated, you know, he's like, and he starts talking about the Pirates' history. That's all apparently that's what he does, you know, when you first come into the club as well. Tells you the history, tells you everything, the background, so that you understand what you're coming into here, you know, and which I appreciate, so that you understand the magnitude of the club as well. Then you can make a decision. And I think that made it easy for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, he said, okay, what do you want? I showed him the numbers and he said, okay, we'll sort it out. I was like, okay, good. And like, your life will never be the same again. You know, that's what they tell you. First, I know a lot of players have heard that before. Your life, when you sign here, your life will never be the same. It doesn't sink in.
Yeah.
It doesn't register then.
Yeah.
But it did eventually when I started playing for the team. Now you're like, oh, this is how big the team is.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's when me as Dikgang Terminator, you know, blew up, started being this recognized. Dikgang Mabalane. You know what I mean? So that team did that for me.
And when you look at that team, this is where I want us to have a look at that team.
Back to the board.
Yes.
Drawing board.
Back to the drawing board.
Proverbial drawing board.
Yes. So that team that was very successful. You guys won many trophies, and you guys played some of the best football as well. So I want us to go through the team. Who was in goals?
Munib that time.
Yeah.
Senzo came through. So it was Munib.
Munib.
Yes, first choice.
Right back.
Sometimes we played with Roy Mahamudza when we started.
Yeah.
Luckily, Khwati would also, you know, play there. But Roy Mahamudza played.
Yeah.
I think Happy came, but not. Yeah, not as a right back and not then. Yeah.
And then your two centre backs.
Lucky and it would be Roy and Lucky sometimes, or we had other players that came through and they didn't stay long there. There was Makonese. I don't know if you know Makonese. Remember Makonese was there? Who was the other guy? But it was mostly sometimes Lucky and Benson would also play there. Yeah. But more he was more a midfielder. So yeah. So it was Lucky and Roy. Yeah. If not Happy here. Yeah.
And then at left back?
Left back, it was Twala. Twala. Lucas Twala. Yeah. That guy's tackle. But it was hard, It was hard. So yeah, it was Lucas Twala.
And then in midfield?
Benson, of course. Yeah. As I said, sometimes we would shift to the centre back at times, but mostly he's a midfielder. Benson and Kwamendo. Is it Kwamendo? Kamuendo. Yeah. Shakira. We used to call him Shakira. Kamuendo would be there. Lebuhang as well. I forgot the surname. Mutibanto. Yeah. Lebuhang Mutibanto would be there. I know Kanunu came. Yeah. Charlie. You know, I'm talking about now when we started. Yeah. But yeah, Charlie Opa came through. Yeah. But most one that lasted longer was Opa. Yeah. Charlie and Opa. How good are and Benson? You could put him there.
Yeah. How good are they? Where do you rank them in terms of a midfield partnership in PSL football?
And it took a while, before this could work. It wasn't like a once off, like it didn't click immediately. Yeah. But they had to work on both of them, you know. So with Opa, he came later, and Charlie came the second year. Anyway, so they made sure that they understand the defensive duties. You know, Kroll worked on him, and he used to be hard on him. Sometimes you'd feel for them, and you're like, yo, this guy's always. But he shouted at everyone. Yeah. But anyway, when you know him, you know what he wants to do. Yeah. Sometimes he killed him as a right back. I remember. The reason he did sorry, the reason that he wanted to sharpen his defensive role for him, not for him, but for him.
No problem.
Yeah. So by the time they were cooked, look, it was just, the synergy between the two players. He knows when to go. He knows when to stay. They didn't. It was seamless.
Yeah.
It was seamless.
It was. It was the best midfield duo in PSL.
PSL.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it would be defensively.
No, I'm saying in the best, as in the best midfield duo you've seen
duo.
in PSL.
Oh, true.
In all your time of watching PSL, where would you rank them?
Right there,
Yeah.
Right there at the top. I mean, this was a team that won treble. They both played in the national team, So for that reason, they won titles.
Yeah.
Clearly, they were effective, and part of the titles because of that energy.
Yeah.
Benson was there. I don't want to exclude him.
Yeah.
He was there as a midfielder, defensive. He's not a flamboyant kind of, what everyone likes. Yeah, kept it simple, did the job for these two. So yeah, I think for me they rank up there. I mean, 8, 9. Give them if out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were solid. On the left.
I know Chinene came, but the one I remember, the one that stands out, would be, funny enough, Diko was there.
Yeah.
Clayt later came on, but initially it was Diko. I would be there.
Yeah.
On the right side. Socks would be if I'm not playing, he's playing. But of course, I would be starting. So yeah, and I'm just saying, But yeah, obviously he plays because that was how Rudy Krol utilized us.
Yes.
He would obviously he's good with the ball. So yes, he's a right footer. He would always say, Demi, speed is a weapon in football, This side, he knows he's a player. He's a ball player. He comes in, he comes here, he's here. He would, yes, once in a while, he could though. He could go take on people. I mean, when he's still young, of course.
Yeah.
But he's more stronger with drifting into those yes, taking shots,
space, receiving in between the lines, pushing up.
And now
shots.
It makes us strong in the middle also because he's, intrinsically a midfielder.
Yeah.
So he makes us strong there, and we could add numbers there. But that's how we played.
And then up front.
Up front sometimes we play with a number 9, like a proper number 9. Sometimes we play with a false 9, because Krol plays total football, Dutch football. So he would we want this
open.
When we start, then we come. Then it could come. But this is how we start. You want to keep them there.
Yeah, verticality.
Yes, you want to keep them there.
So who are these two?
So that's the Zimbabwean man. The guy was good, but he came for a short period of time as well. But we had, of course, Shaga, Mtembu came.
Yeah.
We had Okoringo, if you know him as well. And who else was there? Because we didn't really have like a a striker that played for long.
Yeah.
It was mostly
So-
Katlego also Mashego, by the way, played here as well, or here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was the position where there was multiple options.
Yes.
You couldn't really
yes.
get a guy nailed on.
You know why? Because again, we go back to the total football.
Yeah.
He liked.
Yeah.
But if I want to go there, I can go.
Yeah.
If I was to come here, I can go. If I want to come here, yes. Tula I could go here. Tula, come here. Because Tula sometimes will play without him playing here.
Yeah.
But now he shifted when I came.
You guys had a nice fluid dynamic
So,
attack.
you know what I mean? Yeah. Mbuyane, Mashego, Katlego, Mashego obviously.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty much the upfront, the team.
And what was it like playing in the Soweto derby? I mean, as a young boy growing up, you know, even if you don't even end up becoming a professional player, like you still think of Soweto derby. Like all of us in the country, as young boys growing up, you just want to play Soweto derby. Like there's nothing bigger than that, you know. Either wearing a Pirates shirt or wearing a Kaizer Chiefs shirt and playing in that Soweto derby. What did that mean for you, especially considering then that you're from Soweto?
Yeah, I mean, like you rightfully said, every boy wants to, a young boy wants to play in a derby. You see it on TV, you see it's big, you know, you get it, it's big, there's hype around it. But still, I think there's nothing compared to when you in the field, on the field. You know, I used to go to watch obviously games, and I would wonder how it feels. You know, hey, I would admire, I would imagine myself on the pitch. You know, and they look bigger. You know, players look bigger when
on TV,
not even on TV. Like when you see them live at the stadium, they look big. Like, you know, they've got nice boots and shin guards and like muscles, and you know, everything looks amplified. Like it's like this is it. You know, it's surreal. But I got to be there, and I'm that player now. You know, that what some other young boy is looking at, and it feels good. Look, yes, you're in the moment, but once a lot of times it does hit you that hey, look, I'm in it. I'm playing here. People are watching me on TV. People at the stadium, you can't even hear yourself. You know, talk to your teammate. It's like, look, there's no hey, get la hamba as instructions. You can't hear each other. There, it's more also you playing from instinct, from understanding more than anything. So that's why I say, hey, football. If you haven't played a derby, yo guys, I just wish every player could get an opportunity to play in a packed, like a proper packed PSL professional game like a derby. You know. It's another experience, and for me it was exactly that, you know. The nerves. You're excited, but you're nervous. There's no way a player can tell me he never got nervous even once in a derby. I did. I know. Just walking in the tunnel, you singing, you know, sacked up. Chiefs side now, you know, they singing as well. They singing their song, we singing ours. It's like just. And but that's it, you know. That's what you like, and China Molu has got oils, we've got man. Hey, but that's it, you know. That's the thing, and you start just walking in, just first step, you know, and the crowd goes mad. The crowd goes crazy. It's like pop, 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 and you're like, I know. My parents, my grandparents, whoever they're watching, I'm a household name now. You know, you put them there. That's something. That's what I used to think. You know, when I go into that pitch, and I thought, this is it. So that's it for me.
And what made this Orlando Pirates team so special? Because this Orlando Pirates team was very successful, you know. And yes, I mean, we see star-studded lineup. You know, from the outside looking in, we could always tell that you guys had quality, you know. But of course, being a part and parcel, you'd know a lot more with regards to what made you guys tick and what made you guys so special. What were some of those aspects?
We had a good coach. The timing was right for him to be there. Fortunately, they didn't rush to, get rid of him as usual.
Yeah.
But yes, we had a good coach. It didn't start out well. I remember the first season they wanted him out, but the management stuck with him. The team stuck with him. So that number one, he brought something that I think is still lacking in South African football. That is, they're hard and they expect a lot. So sometimes they can push players to the limit. Sometimes players crack. But fortunately, we didn't. This crop of players, we didn't, We had characters, Benson, Lahwati. These are people who wanted to win things. We had good players, Tiko, Mashiku, Mbuyane. Sometimes I think it's about timing as well. It doesn't happen all the time. But I hope I'm not... Anyway, so it doesn't happen all the time. But when it clicks, it clicks. And I think for us, the timing was perfect. Yeah. Good coach, good players, and it happens that, he got what he wanted from each and everyone else. But the thing is with him, we had sessions, people don't know this. To get the best out of players, you have to make this player or this one think, or make you think you're the best player. You're my favorite as a coach. And I think that's what he did. I knew I was his favorite. He probably knew he was his favorite, because we used to have meetings here behind the goalpost after the game. Yeah. So he'd call us one-on-one, have a one-on-one with us. So that's like therapy. That's like a
diary session.
A diary session kind of, But he's actually trying to understand the psychology of the players, which is something that I'm emphasizing on, that to get a team to play for you, you need to understand these individuals as a coach, how they function. Like you mentioned that we're different. And this is what most coaches miss. We're different. Not as a footballer, but as a human being first. Then you understand, you'll get a better footballer. And that's exactly what Kroll did. So that, I think, was a major thing. Those one-on-one talks, his style of play. I mean, by the time you implement your philosophy, that's secondary. Primarily, you've done your part, which is to understand these individuals. Then, by the time you implement whatever you want, your philosophy, your approach, what you want to do, then it's easy. And I think we could take it. But he used to push us. Look, this team, we were fit. Yeah. We were fit. That's another thing.
You guys were.
You know what kind of the game we played was press. We lose the ball here. We press here. So we don't lose and track back. Yeah. Yes, once in a while, it depends. But that was mostly, dominantly that. We press here, that's how we played. And to do that, he had to push us. So fitness is big on fitness. And also passing. Little things. Like if I pass a 2 meter, 1 meter pass, it has to be perfect. You have to concentrate on the pass. It's not and the pass goes like this. At training, when you're doing drills and people are passing and the passes are like that. No. He was a simple thing like a passing drill, a rondo, 5v2, that rondo, Rondo. Yeah, I mean, normally it's easy. Kroll would be standing there and monitoring the rondo. So that was our daily bread. And I believe Kroll does that also. Pep does that.
Yeah.
So it's that, total Barcelona kind of touch he brought there. So yeah.
Yeah, and Pep does do it. And I also remember, I forgot the player's name. He mentioned the South African player who went to train with the team in England, and he was so shocked to see how serious the rondos were. Because for us in South Africa, I just want to do a show.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's just a warm up for us. Whereas for them, it's a serious training session.
It is. They play rondos in a game.
Yes.
It's applied in a game.
Yeah.
That's what you see for Man City. It's exactly that. Rondos everywhere.
So out of all the trophies you won at Orlando Pirates, which one is the one that you look at and say, yeah, that was the best win?
Yo, di paya mas. So I don't know. I think for me the title was more.
Yeah.
Cup games I see. I've won cup games before.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first time, when I came to Pirates. So I won the title, the league title. And when I won that, I was like, with Pirates. And I was like, yes, now our names will be recorded, in the history books. And I think that meant a lot for me. When I retire, I would say, I've got a league title. I've won the league. Yeah, not once, twice, three, whatever. But I think for me that was a major thing. I won it before I retired.
Yeah. So from Pirates then, you do then move to Swallows. How does that move come about?
Do we still have time? But I guess it's simple. When by the time I went to Swallows, I was I think already getting ready.
Yeah.
Whether I knew it or not, but I was getting ready for the end days, I guess, of football. But look, I still had it. I still wanted to play physically. Yeah, I feel okay. But it gets to that point. By the time I moved to Swallows, yes, I did play a bit. And obviously my contract had ended with Pirates after 4 years, 4 seasons or so. And I went to Swallows because, they required for my services. And look, the thing is people don't understand. When you move from teams like Pirates and you have to move to other teams, you come with the value is still high. Now, other teams, it's difficult for them to match, And these are problems you come across, after that. So that's also, but I went to Swallows and I was like, okay, I'm gonna, play a bit, see how far this goes. And I did, unfortunately, things didn't go well there with Swallows. They had their own issues there. And that's not how I wanted to finish my career. But it was more of like a push factor. I had to be like, no, I'm done. So not much to say there.
Yeah, but like when you're now deciding, do you remember the day where you woke up and you're like, hi, that's it, I'm signing out?
Nah, I think it was a gradual thing, and it creeps on you slowly. You're in denial.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of players are, but luckily my transition was, made better by analysis. I also went into, analysis, of course. And I think then I had to decide, maybe now I can retire and focus on this, That's why I'm like, I'm fortunate, I'm grateful for that. Look, there's nothing worse than transitioning from football, like doing something else, and it's not easy. And I think so for me I was just one of those fortunate ones that I got into analysis. So that made it better for me.
So how did that come about? So you've retired now, and like you mentioned, you were sort of doing it simultaneously, but now you retire and you go into it full time. How does that come about?
I think when Swallows obviously got relegated, I think I made a decision. I'm not gonna go further down. Dikgang. No, it's not worth it.
This is what crime was it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Look, and I'm like, know when to quit. Know when to say hi. I'm good now. So that decision was made by, of course, me being in analysis as well. I'm like, no, you can still do this. And I thought, okay, fine. I'm not going back. It's okay. It's okay. But obviously a few months takes you a while before you like, really? I wake up and I don't have to rush anywhere. There's no camp. The weekend, I don't have to, push myself for anything. That becomes a bit of, you don't get used to that. It takes a while. So I mean, yeah. For me, it was that. I dealt with it that way. You know, I was like, okay, no, kishapo. Yeah, and I started doing that. Well, yeah, you try other things here and there, and you fail. You know, businesses here and there, you fail. You keep trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't know what to do. You know, because I always say football is like you're in a bubble the whole time.
Yeah.
That's how I describe it. You're in a bubble the whole time. You're protected. Everything is done for you. You're spoiled. It shapes you into something else. Unfortunately, you know, it doesn't prepare you for what happens after. The real world.
The real world.
The real world.
The real world.
Yes.
Yeah, but nowadays, we see you doing amazing work as an analyst in Supersport and also doing very well. Vision View Sports Radio, The Locker Room.
The Locker Room, of course.
The Locker Room.
You, our special guest there.
So how is that, you know, how is that, and where are you in terms of just your emotional well-being now? You know, now that you've since retired and now you're doing radio and you're doing TV, like you've now become a full-time broadcaster. How's that on a daily basis?
I think it's a nice shift. The good thing, you know, as I mentioned, it's still football, which makes it easy. You know, you're comfortable. Yes, there are things that you still need to learn. You know, it's broadcasting. In that sense, it is a different kind of world, where now you have to be the one now behind the camera now, you know, talking to players and analyzing players, the game itself. So that is interesting. I think it's very interesting, and you get to speak about what you love. So it's nice, man, and you learn also. It's very educational because as I'm doing it, I'm learning a lot about football, you know, about analysis as well, how I see the game, things that I didn't know as a player. Now I can tell other players. Yeah, you know. But so yeah, you grow in that sense, and I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that.
No, that is really great. But we've got two special segments just before we end off the show. So the first segment, I need your top 5 best South African players of all time. That's the first one. Then the second segment will be your best 11. But we'll start with the first segment. Who's your top 5?
The top 5 players?
Yes.
Now, currently, or just generally?
Of all time.
Okay. Yeah. South African. Okay, top of my head, I remember watching. I'll count Jomo. I remember seeing. I was young though. We're still. Yeah. Those days. Jomo for me also. I think that got imprinted in my mind that okay, you know, professional player, big player kind of situation. Him, and Ace Kusi. You know, I don't relate with Ace Ntsoele because
Hare Opa.
No, well,
I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, Opa is also, I think, one of the, but I wouldn't say, you know, best right now in the list, because there were players that were like.
But it's your top 5.
Yeah, my top 5.
Yeah.
So,
Prache, number 1.
Prache, Ace Kuse.
Yeah. Shout out Opa. Shout out Ace.
And let's see. I like Shalulile right now. So, you know, current.
Yeah.
I think for me, probably player of the season. We'll see. I like Zwane. These are Sundowns players I know. So that's 4, ne?
Yeah. Would you put yourself in there? Would you put Teko Modise there?
There's too many good players, guys.
No, but don't worry, because the next segment, and this is why I love this.
I'll say, now I won't put myself there. I know I am good, but I won't put myself there. So I'll give the space to other people.
Okay.
I'll go also for. I think. Doctor. He's made a mark, you know. Yeah. South African.
Yeah.
I think between Dr. Lee shoes, ne? But I like shoes, Joe.
Shoes, no?
They talk shoes.
Shoes. So your top 5? We've got Prache.
Yes.
We've got Ace Tsuleng.
Yes. Ace Kuse.
Ace Kuse, sorry. You mentioned Shalile.
Yes.
Zwane.
And shoes.
And shoes.
Yes. Shoes Mushweo. Lisiba.
You guys heard the top 5. Eh? But anyway, let's move on to the best 11 then. So I need your best 11. I need a formation. And I also need a captain. And I need a coach. You can put yourself in the best 11. This is the best 11 players you've played with. Yeah, you're there, we know.
I'm first on the list.
Yeah, so this is your best 11 players that you've played with throughout your career.
That I've played with.
Yeah, that you've played with.
Sure.
Even if it was alone even if you trained with him, at just best 11 you've played with.
Yeah. Okay, let's start at the
Let's
back.
start with goals.
Goalkeeper, I'll go with Munip. I've played with Munip, of course. Let's go for the right back. I think I enjoyed playing with Roy and, funny enough, Sam Makhalif at Cosmos. But I think I'll go with Roy on this one. Sorry,
No
Pirates,
problem.
of course.
Yeah.
Left back, Lucas. This is Pirates again.
Yeah.
Wait. Let me let me not be. Yeah, man. I think for me, I played with those guys and I know what they could do. So I'd put Lucas and Roy there.
Okay. Your 2 centre backs?
Okay. Centre backs. Hilton. Jordan. He was a Cosmos player. That I played with, of course. And this is a difficult one.
Why is it so difficult?
No, because I'm trying to think of centre backs that I enjoyed playing with. Okay, we'll come back to this one.
Yeah.
Now, here.
What's your formation?
Oh, okay.
What are you trying to do?
So I'm going with a 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Yeah.
Okay, standard 4-4-2.
4-4-2. So here I would go with, of course, but I'll also go with Innocent Nzumi.
Okay, so Jali and Innocent.
Yeah. This player was underrated. His career was short-lived, but I believe he was a genius. When it comes to the midfield, the ball, playing with the ball. Left. Whoa. I think Clate. Ben Clate. Yeah.
Ben Clate.
Yeah, and then of course Dikgang.
Jigga.
Tiko Pukwane.
Yeah.
What a player.
Yeah.
Tiko Pukwane there. Okay, here as a false, I think which player did? You know what? At Maritzburg, I played with Steve. Ne? A bit. Likwele. I know he plays on the right, but I'd like to put him there.
Yeah.
So Steve, Likwele, Tiko. Those, and then we have to come back still.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy.
Pepe Gel.
I think he did well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played with him, so happy.
Who's the captain of this team?
This guy, Tiko.
The coach?
Ruud Krol, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Ruud Krol, without a doubt. Assisted by Jomo, or Jomo assisted by Ruud Krol. Whichever way you want to take it. Actually, these days, plus we have co-coach. So those are our co-coaches there.
Group work.
Yeah, local and international.
Yeah. So running through your best 11, Munip in goals.
Yes.
Twala.
We said Hilton.
And Pepe Gel.
Yes. Roy Mahamudza. Did I say Jali there?
Jali.
Yes. And who?
Nzumi.
Innocent Nzumi, yes, correct.
Dinklate.
You. Dikgang. Tiko Tiko, Pukwane, and Steve.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, Terminator. In closing, when you look at your whole career, what is one moment that stands out for you?
In my career, I think my first cup game that I won, because that was my first bonus, and we had lost 5-0, but we came back the following year to win against the same team, that is Kaizer Chiefs. They hammered us 5. We came back, we beat them with 1, with this guy here and me here. A cross, goal, 1, won the cup. First bonus, Yaka. I was so happy. I've never had that kind of money before. And I think it stands out for me.
Yeah.
So, having said that, and with Cosmos, you know? With Cosmos. So, that for me is big.
And this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is big. Anyway, Terminator, thank you very much for coming through. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is by far one of the best footballing conversations I've ever had. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Leolo from The Terminator and the founder, signing out.